Hello, Steve White, Steve RC9. Well, I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. I've been doing a bit of a marathon for the last week since Friday the 13th, mainly sort of going through the special features and documentaries and interviews and stuff, and a couple of things that have come up a few times that have been annoying me that I want to comment on. Now, this is the whole Ted White versus the director Joseph Zito debate about, from Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Now, the story goes that the actress Judi Aronson was, she was the actor, she played Samantha, and she swam out to a dinghy in the lake and was lying on it, and Jason comes up, stabs her through the chest, and there was a scene where they had a prosthetic body on her, and she was in the cold lake basically for ages, and she was turning blue. She ended up getting hypothermia and getting quite sick. And they didn't really take care of her. They just sent her home alone and so forth. And but the story is that the actor stuntman who played Jason for that film, Ted White, which I hope is his name because I looked through the credits, I couldn't find his name at all. But I'm sure it's Ted White. There's a lot of Jasons. If I've gotten it wrong, Lord help me. But apparently, allegedly, supposedly, he said to the director, "This girl is freezing. If you don't get her out of the water, I'm walking. I'm quitting." So they pulled her out, and I don't know if she actually finished the scenes or if they just sort of ended it there, or if she sort of got back in later and sort of finished the scenes or not. But that was his story. Now the director's story, basically, and I hope I got the director's name right as well. I just assume I know all these names, and then it's not true. I'm actually looking at the camera. I'm like, is that the right name? He said that actually it was Ted who was complaining about the water and not Judi. And I'm like, now, her shoulders were the only thing that needed to be exposed. Surely she wasn't naked underneath that. And she had why didn't they have a diving suit on her or a wetsuit or something on her from the chest down or something? Maybe they did, I don't know. But Ted White probably would have had that under his Jason suit. So, but the idea that this big stuntman who's done all these, things before would be complaining about the cold doesn't seem right. So I don't really believe the director. And the only real argument people have against Ted White is that, well, when they ask Judi Aronson about it, she'll talk about how she was cold, how she wanted to come out of the water, how they wouldn't let her, basically. And, she basically was left to drive home alone, couldn't remember anything, and was sick for days and had hypothermia. But she doesn't recall Ted White saying anything. And I'm like, well, just because she doesn't know about it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Doesn't mean he did it right in front of her. Like people are saying, well, he must have just said it right there in front of her to the director. I'm like, no, he probably went to the director between shots because he could leave the water and she couldn't because she was in the prosthetic. She couldn't sort of leave. She just had to stay in place. And I believe it happened, and that it happened, sort of off to the side, and she didn't hear it. And that's why she has no memory of it, but it happened. And the fact that the director is playing it down is because it was a shitty thing to do. Obviously, they had to manage this actress in the cold and take care of her. If that meant having to reset up shots multiple times and take more time, then you have to allow that in the schedule and the budget. But they didn't care, and that's sort of the complaint, that he really was sort of abusing this actress and not taking care of her, and that the stuntman actually spoke up for her and got her out of the water and got more consideration for her than she would have gotten otherwise if he hadn't have pulled rank, because they needed him. So I'm on Ted White's side with that, and I hope that's his name, because, like I said, I was looking at the credits, like his name's not in the credits. I can't see it anywhere, and I couldn't see something. I'm sort of scrolling through it, like I don't have time to go through the whole read the whole credits. It's like 4 minutes. So I'm just going to assume it's Ted White. That's the name I associate with Friday the 13th Part 4, Jason. And yeah, so I do think that did happen. And the people who are trying to discredit the stuntman in favour of the director, I don't know what their motivations are, but using the whole, well, the actress didn't hear this discussion, doesn't really, win their argument. So just want to comment on that. So feel free to share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. There's a lot of little stories around Friday the 13th and little disagreements, because one of the things about Crystal Lake Memories, which was sort of the big sort of epic book and documentary on Friday the 13th, it's like 5.5 or 6 hours long, it's huge, is they let the actors and the producers and everyone involved tell the story through their stories. and they don't really have a definitive voice saying, well, this is what happened, that's what happened. You'll see people sort of tell the same, different versions of the same story or the same event, and they just let the actors and everything just sort of tell the story. So, which is great in one way, but it also means there's no clarification when people are wrong or mistaken, and there's lots of little mistakes that you'll see between actors and the stuff. I'm like, well, I know she's wrong about that. She's not remembering that properly, and that happens a lot with people who, they go on, they live their lives, they don't sit there and watch the film every year, and they don't sort of get caught up in the production and the, rumours and gossip and all the stuff about it, so they forget things, they get things wrong. But yeah, so I just want to talk about that for a minute. I'm going to go. Bye.